Fanatical Massholes show is sponsored by Big Belly Barbecue. If you're looking to get a plate or looking to try something different, hit up Timothy Brunfield on Facebook. Fat Boy the Chef on Instagram. Big Belly Barbecue is the name of his company. He specializes in fried lobster tail, lobster mac and cheese, Cajun wings, the works, etc., etc. He has all that and more. Like I said, if you're looking to get catered, he'll take care of you. You will not be disappointed. Big Belly Barbecue is the name of his company. Fat Boy the Chef on Instagram. Timothy D. Brunfield on Facebook. Check them out. All right, let's get to the show.
Platinum. Guess what? We coming back at you. Sure will. We ain't playing no games. We gonna cross that finish line, y'all. I'ma cross the finish line. Finish line. I'ma cross the finish line. Finish line. I'ma cross the finish line. Finish line. I'ma go out there, get mine. As a motherfucking beat drop. Tell you something now, I'm hip hop. Ain't no way for hell that I'ma stop. I'ma set it on fire on every block. As I'm pippin' in my fast car. I'm racing like, whoa, I like this NASCAR. Music bumpin', I don't care who don't like it. With my Lamborghini, yeah, I'm just so excited. Welcome to the streets.
Welcome. Good evening. Welcome into the best sports podcast going on the net right now, where we give you an unedited, unfiltered, unapologetic opinion on everything that's going on in sports. Currently, it is the Fanatical Massholes show. It's your boy Mizzo holding it down solo this week. Guys will be back next week. All right, we got a good show for y'all today, man. We're going to talk about my takeaways from the NBA playoffs round one. Obviously, we got to talk about the situation that happened with John Haliburton, Tyrese Haliburton's father, and Giannis Antetokounmpo after the game. And then obviously we're going to send the NBA team, the latest NBA team, to go home on vacation for the summer, home in style, and like what we like to call tight eye. And a special topic. I'm going to give you the most disrespectful dunk of all time, in my opinion. So y'all can also comment along with the show. Give me your opinion as well. Remember, like, subscribe, share, comment, support the movement. All right, let's get into the show. Here we go. So, man, the first round has been, listen, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't say pleasantly. I'm very surprised, and I'm very happy with what I'm seeing with the NBA playoffs. The physicality's back. Now, yes, they're not letting everything go. There's some flagrants that's, got to be blatant flagrant fouls that need to be called, and they're calling them. But as far as, man, they're not calling every little ticky-tack foul. They're letting these guys bump each other. They're letting them get physical. They're letting it get chippy, you know what I mean, to the point where it really is chippy because guys are getting annoyed with guys touching them and banging them all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's great. A little bit of that is coming back. And again, you don't got to go full 70s, 80s where they clotheslining dudes out of midair. No, we're not saying that, but just a little bit of the physicality back. And it's happened. I'm happy. I'm really happy with what I'm seeing. I'm sure there's a lot of other fans that can agree with me. Joe Dumars, the new president of the New Orleans Pelicans, said the same thing. Like, look, it's physicality in basketball's back. That's what's going to keep the league upright. That's what's going to have to make dudes step up their game. And I can say these players are playing through the physicality. You know what I mean? Like all that, these players can't play back in the day. They're showing that they can. You know what I mean? Steph's still doing Steph Curry things. Jason Tatum's doing Jason Tatum things. Donovan Mitchell doing Donovan Mitchell things, and so on and so on. And then with the younger generation, the younger kids coming in, Paulo Banchero, I should say. You know what I mean? He's shining. Cade Cunningham. So listen, I love it. I let the physical play go. You know what I mean? Happen. NBA basketball, baby, want to be back. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So here's my takeaways. I got 7 of them for you. First takeaway. Cavs Thunder series with easy money. You know what I mean? Cavs in this series against the Heat, the Thunder against the Grizzlies. Easy money. Cavs was the average margin of victory against the Heat was 30.5 points. And we seen what happened in game 4 where they blew the doors off from early. It was over. Second quarter, it was over with. You know what I mean? At one point, they led by like 40 or 50 or something like that. Like it was, I think maybe 60, my fault. Like it was an ugly game. You know what I mean? Ugly series. The Cavs wiped the Heat down. Absolutely smashed them. Yeah. Obviously, that was, that might not have been the bright spot of the NBA playoffs, but that's to happen. You know what I mean? The Heat were the first 10 seed to make it out of the play-in tournament, to make it to the playoffs, but this shows why they were a 10 seed. You know what I mean? Because they got crushed. And obviously the Thunder series against the Grizzlies was a little closer, but they did beat them by 50 in the game one. So it was easy money though. Easy money. Scottie Pippen Jr. though, he shined. Last 2 games he had 28 and 30. You know what I mean? The kid's got a bright future. I like his game. So the Grizzlies have a bright spot. You know what I mean? So that was good takeaways from those 2 series. Obviously, number 2, Celtics. They're limping into the second round, but they still cruised against the Magic. You know what I mean? Game 3 was close. 4 was close. Well, game 2 was close. You know what I mean? Jason Tatum didn't play in that game. Jaylen Brown stepped up, did his thing. But then game 3 was a little more physical, more, you know what I mean? They the Orlando Magic got physical, but they knocked somebody, not knocked somebody, but somebody got hurt in the game for the Celtics. Was it Drew Holiday? Because he didn't play in games 4 and 5. So, Orlando played physical though. Orlando played them physical. They had a hard foul on Jason Tatum. I think they cracked like a bone in his thumb. That's why he didn't play in game 2. Well, obviously he came back for game 3. So Orlando tried to bring that physicality to the Celtics, but the Celtics were able to match it, play through it, and handle their business and get them up out of there. But bright spot, Paolo Banchero. In the 5 games he had, his lowest total was in game 5 when he only had 19 points, but he had 30, 32, 29, 31. You know what I mean? Up until game 5. Those are his numbers in the first 4 games. So Paolo Banchero, he's a star. He's a young star. We'll talk more about them in tighter eye, but yeah, that's my takeaways from that. Celtics cruise into the next round, but they're gonna be a little banged up going up against the Knicks. The Knicks, that's my third takeaway. Number 3, best series of the playoffs so far, by far, was the Knicks-Pistons series. All the games were close, came down to just execution, which Detroit, being a young team that they are, wasn't gonna be not gonna be able to do. Didn't do it. You know what I mean? They weren't able to execute. Jalen Brunson, clutch player of the year, showed why he's the clutch player of the year. Clutch basket after clutch basket after clutch basket. Obviously, game 5 was a little head scratching. Tom Thibodeau didn't take a timeout to get him and Josh Hart back in the game. The last three minutes or so, Detroit capitalized, closed, won the game. But Jalen Brunson did what he did. Detroit, again, is up like 7. You know what I mean? About a minute left. Knicks come back. Jalen Brunson. I don't know why they didn't double team him. Like, for some reason, why they just left Ashore Thompson on him by himself one-on-one. He could, you know what I mean? He had him on skates. He hit him with that cross. You know what I mean? He got himself open. Cash money. It was in. That was it. So, again, great series. Just came down to execution. The Knicks did it. Pistons did not. Knicks win in 6. No, 4th takeaway from the playoffs so far. Lakers season's a failure. I mean, I hate to say it like that. Regardless of the in-season trade, regardless of them not being in play, we're not only playing with each other since February. Regardless, you should have got past the Timberwolves. That's just my opinion. As a fan of the team, I would not have considered this to be a success to lose in the first round by 5. I can see maybe with 7. I mean, from the door, opening tip of game 1 of this series, Minnesota was the more physical team. Again, games 3 and 4 came down to final possessions, execution, whatever. The foul call on LeBron James on Anthony Edwards when the ball clearly went off Anthony Edwards. That call, okay, I can definitely be like, come on, that was crazy. That call shouldn't have happened. Same thing with game 4 in Detroit, where Josh Hart clearly got caught in the air and fouled Tim Hardaway Jr. that didn't get called. So those are 2 questionable calls that happened. But nevertheless, Lakers still shouldn't have lost this series in 5 games. And then they basically just, I don't know if they wore him down, whatever it was, just more out physical. Anthony Edwards didn't have that's not even a word, but you know what I'm saying. Minnesota was the more physical team. Anthony Edwards didn't have his best game in game 5, I should say. And Rudy Gobert went off. 2020. He had a 2020 game. Rudy Gobert did his thing. Sent the Lakers home. It's a failure to me. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Back to the Pistons series though. We'll get into it. Actually, I'll get into them. Tight. All right. So my 5th takeaway: Clippers. They're stuck in purgatory. I think it's time to start. And again, they just moved into the Intuit Dome. You're trying to get fans. They're gonna have your diehards, but if you want to keep the fans, you got to do something. I don't know what to do. Basically, what I'm saying. We're gonna talk about them in tight as well. But again, James Harden, he had 11 points in game 5. He had 28 in game 6, 7 points in game 7. 7 points in game 7. James Harden continues to come up small or just not flat out, just not execute and bring it when it's time to bring it in the clutch moments and clutch games of the series. This happens continuously over and over and over. What do you do if you're the Clippers? Right now, you're just kind of stuck. You're going to be the 4 seed, 5 seed, 6 seed, around there. And then what if you keep this team together? Something's got to change. They should have beat the Nuggets, though. It doesn't. To me, they should have beat the Nuggets. This ain't the same Nuggets team. This Nuggets team is undermanned to me. Yeah, they should have beat them. They should have beat this team. Six takeaway. Think Giannis is leaving Milwaukee. Talk about it more inside, all right? But yeah, I think it might be time. And the Pacers are going to be here for a while. This Pacers team is pretty damn good. Again, a lot of people, maybe they underrate them. They don't like this style of play. Obviously, Tyrese Haliburton was voted by his peers, NBA peers, the most overrated player in the league, which I don't see. Tyrese Haliburton is nice. His game might not be for you, but he can play. And right now, they're beating the Cavs. They're up by 9-7 now. Jared Allen just made a layup. They actually won the season series against the Cavs, even though I think the last 2 games, most of the Cavs players didn't play. I don't even think some of the Pacers players didn't play. But yep, they're up 7 right now, third quarter, about 6 minutes left to go. Pacers might make it to the conference finals for the second year in a row when no one had them even getting there. So, excuse me. I had the Bucks beating the Pacers. I don't even know how the Bucks lost this series. Bucks defensively was great. Well, 13th in the regular season. In the postseason, they allowed 118 points to the Pacers all 5 games on 50% shooting from the field, and 40% shooting from 3-point range. Damn, that ain't gonna get it done. That's horrible. Bad. Pacers was getting anything they wanted whenever they wanted. That and then that last play that basically showed you what I'm talking about. When Tyrese Haliburton got Giannis one-on-one, gets by Giannis, gets to the cup, layup, ball game, over. Yeah, man. That's Bucks. Yeah, it's time for, I think it might be time for Giannis to go, but I'll speak on that more inside. All right. But yeah, Pacers going to be here for a while. I think they need to add some, maybe more, another rim protector. I think the Pacers could really make some finals runs here. They could definitely be a scary team, a title contender in the East. And the last takeaway, Game 7 is the night coming up at about 8:30. Houston, the Rockets hosting the Warriors. That's the final game of this is going to be the final game of the first round. So that'll basically set the second round up totally. Houston put the league on notice. Regardless of what happens, the Rockets just need somebody to add to the team, and they're going to be a title contender. They play defense. They just, the execution sometimes isn't great, but you got Alperen Sengun. I like Tyrese, and I like Jabari Smith Jr. Obviously, I like I don't think it's Jabari Smith Jr., but Jabari Smith. I like Dylan Brooks. I love him on the team's enforcer. Steven Adams. I like a lot of the pieces they got. Obviously, I'm in Thompson, and Jalen Green. We'll see what happens but I think they need to add a piece. But yeah, this team got the league on notice. This team's gonna be a title contender. All they need is to add that one piece, that one star. Nice alley-oop, Donovan Mitchell to Jared Allen. Pacers still up 7-0. All right. Next topic. We all heard, everybody knows what happened after the Pacers game. The Pacers-Bucks series. Tyrese Haliburton again hits the game-winning layup. Everybody's cheering. Everybody's great. Tyrese Haliburton jumps on the scoring table, hyping up the crowd hyping him up. Then we get his dad. We see John. First, we didn't really know what happened because we see Giannis and his dad head to head, forehead to forehead, having like a heated discussion. And then obviously we see what happened with Giannis and what's my man's name? I think it's Aaron Nesmith. With Aaron Nesmith or Benedict Mather, one of those, where he kind of palms the back of his head. They push each other. So it got chippy. We didn't really know what really was the origin of it. That wasn't really tied into it. But what happened first was with John Moran. Tyrese Haliburton's dad, John Haliburton, where he runs onto the court. He don't run to the court. He's sitting courtside. He comes down. He's got his towel. This Tyrese Haliburton towel. His son got to big him up. Of course, be happy. But he's over there, not in Giannis's face. He's about 5, 7 feet away from him, kind of waving the towel and just saying whatever he said to Giannis. Seemed like he was taunting him. Then Giannis walked over to him, and that's when they got into the heated discussion and everything like that. Obviously, Tyrese Haliburton addressed it. Couldn't say anything more. What could he say? He didn't see. He's going to talk to his dad. Boom. Now we see the NBA. I don't know if it's NBA or the Pacers team itself. They basically, John Haliburton is not allowed at any of the games for the rest of the postseason for the Pacers, home or away. So, do I think the punishment is, if it's the crime? No, I would have put him in the box seat, but I get it. You got to send an example, because if that was a fan, if it was me, I don't have any player. I don't have any sons or cousins or anybody that plays on a team. And I run out and come at Giannis like that, or any other player, I'm probably banned for life. You know what I mean? Or at least a season. You know what I mean? Not to go to any game. No NBA games, period. So I get it. You tell him, don't come back for the rest of the postseason, and we'll see you next year. All right, I get it. But I don't know. I probably would have just put him in the suite, man. That's his son. He got a little emotional. You know what I mean? He wasn't all in Giannis's face, but he was close enough. And Giannis obviously heard the disrespect. And yeah, you violated a little bit, but I would have just put him in the box, man. You know what I mean? All right, you stay in the box. Don't come down courtside no more. You know what I mean? And leave it like that. But let me know how you feel. You know what I mean? Like, if you think the punishment was too light, just right, or was it too excessive? All right. So now let's get into a little segment we like to call Tight Eye, where we send the NBA and his teams home that just been eliminated from the playoffs, and obviously teams went home in the regular season. We send you home in style. I'll let you know how I'm feeling if I'm a fan. So let's get into it. First team is the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, they got swept by the Thunder in round one. Me, I'm tight. I'm tight because we had a window. They were this year they were the 2 seed this year before they fired right around the time they fired Taylor Jenkins, and then they slipped all the way to the play-in, and then wound up being an 8 seed after losing to Golden State. So, excuse me. I'm tight though. Like, it's time again. I would tell you a year ago or even earlier this year, if you'd have told me, should we trade John Morant, if the Grizzlies organization was thinking about it, and I'm the fan base, anybody, I would say you're crazy for even mentioning trading John Morant. But it's even crazier that I agree. Now you got to come to that realization, like, man, you know what? This is it. They had their window. This thing is done. See what you're gonna get something for John Morant. John Morant is blockbuster. He's blockbuster. He's top 25 in the league. You know what I mean? He's top 20 probably player, maybe even 15. I think he can get back to the top 10 for him. He was top 10 a couple years ago, for sure. For sure, he was top 10. So see what you can get for him. That's how I'm feeling about that. See what you can get for him. You're gonna get a haul though. You got Desmond Bane against Scottie Pippen Jr. You got Zach Edney, Zeddy Aldama. You got a few players, you know what I mean, on the team. So see what you can get as far as draft picks and things like that, and rebuild this thing. That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm feeling if I'm a fan. Now, it's time. It's time. So I'm tight. The Heat, from a Heat fan, they just got swept, obviously, by the Cavs in grand fashion, awful fashion. They got crushed. Whole series. We just talked about it. They don't really have cap space. How are you going to rebuild? You're going to have to trade, but what pieces do you have to trade for, say, a Giannis, KD, someone like that? If I'm the Heat, I think I might do a reverse. I'm tight, though. Like, if I'm a fan, I might say, you know what? We got 2 finals, couple conference finals. They've been relevant and consistently a contender when most people, pundits, pick them to maybe lose in the first round. Or they were 8th. Again, they made it to the finals as an 8th seed. So it's been a good run with this iteration, but I think it's time to tear it down, see what you can get, honestly. And you know what I mean? To make this a rebuild year and then go all in the next year, the year after that, That's just me. I know that's a wild take, and people are going to be like, yeah, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Whatever. But what else are you going to do? Again, you could trade for Giannis, but what are you giving up for Giannis? They're going to want Bam Adebayo, for sure. They might want Bam, Tyler Hero. Kyle Ware. They might want a few of them. They might want a few of your players. Jaime Jaquez, that's Giannis. And obviously, abundance of them. They're going to want a few draft picks. You really going to do all that if you're Miami? I know people want you to stay relevant, but I think you go the opposite way, man. Tear this thing down and rebuild it. Rebuild it back up. I don't mind the idea what Stephen A. Smith said. Maybe Pat Riley steps back and goes up further, like senior advisor or something, and Eric Spoelstra becomes team president, and then you hire a coach. Hire a different coach. I don't know, but yeah, I'm tight if I'm a Heat fan. All right, Magic. I'm good, man. If I'm a Magic fan, I'm all right. They hold Pablo Banchero. Keep saying Pablo. Pablo Banchero missed about 30 games this year with an abductor strain. The Wagner brothers, one went down, I think, with a knee or abductor strain himself. The other one went down with a knee for the season. So, Jalen Suggs in and out of the lineup. Yeah, man, like the Magic were banged up. But I think if they're healthy, they're a top 3 team in the league. The way they play defense, and Paolo Banchero is a star. You know what I mean? Jamal Moses is a great coach. I'm good if I'm a Magic fan. We good. Come back healthy. Magic can make a push for this thing. They could be a contender next year. Pistons, bright future too as well. Obviously, like I said, the best series of the first round. They pushed the Knicks. Team's gritty. Play defense. They just got to hit them shots when it mattered. More execution. Get some seasoned veterans in there. You gotta do some upgrading. Add a piece. They add a piece. They could come out of the East easy. Cade Cunningham is a star. Cade Cunningham averaged 25, 8-8 in the series against the Knicks. He's the first player to average that stat, 25, 8-8 in his first 5 games of the playoffs in his career, in his first 5 career playoff games since Luka Doncic and Oscar Robertson, the Big O. Man, that's rarefied air right there. That's a star. You got yourself a budding star on the cusp of superstardom. So I'm good. I'm all the way good if I'm a Pistons fan. You know what I mean? Again, they tripled their win total. I had them in the playoffs too. Me definitely patting myself on the back about that. You know what I'm saying? Showing my knowledge a little bit that I might have. But either way, I picked them to get to the playoffs and nobody did. Well, everybody else, we did the NBA show, preview show. I was the one who picked them to get there, and they did get there. So yeah, if I'm a Pistons fan, I'm good. We all good. Clippers. Yeah, man, I'm tight. It's done. I said it last year. This is done. You have no cap space. James Harden's a free agent. What are you going to give him? What are you going to get him? What are you going to give? You're going to look. I don't want to. I want to see everybody get paid. You know what I mean? Who am I to say someone shouldn't get paid? I think James Harden deserves his money, but to get what you got again, Game 7 again. I just said it. He had 13 assists, but 7 points. Wasn't even aggressive. He only took like 11 shots. Come on, man. He had like 9 assists at the half. Get aggressive. In the second half, you get aggressive. You go to the cup. You do your thing. Kawhi Leonard was the only one who showed up last night in that Denver Nuggets, in that Game 7 against the Nuggets. It was embarrassing. They got crushed. Yeah, listen, I hate to say tear it down, but what you going to do? You have to do something else. You got to do something else. You can't stay with this team and just have the same result next year. So, yeah, I'm tight. Lakers, I'm tight. Like I said, if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm tight. Yeah, maybe this isn't the year that you was expected to contend for a title, but you got to the second seed. Defense had a stretch of games where it was awesome, stellar, the defense, with Luka there. I'm not going to say they got exposed in the first round because we know Luka's defense ain't that great. But they definitely need a rim protector. They definitely need to get more size, pause down there. You know what I mean? They got to find somebody who was going to not replace Mark Williams because they were going to trade for him, but it didn't happen. They need to get a big pause. They do. But yeah, if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm tight. What are we doing? You know what I mean? Like this, we should have still went further than the first round. They should have beat the Timberwolves. I'm sorry. They should have beat this team, and it didn't happen. Yeah. So, yeah, if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm tight. We don't know. I mean, I think LeBron's going to come back. We know Luka's going to sign an extension, but what if he decides not to? But I'm pretty sure he's going to, but what if he don't? Then what? Like, yeah, you got to build around Luka, though, now. Now it's the focus shifts to Luka and go from there. But you got to get back in the title contention now. You know? You made this trade just to lose in the first round? Nah. I ain't saying, well, I'm a Lakers fan. Hell no. All right. Last team, the Bucks. It's over. Bucks. You listen, if I'm a Bucks fan, I'm going to say this to the Bucks fan that's not being a Bucks fan. You got a championship. You didn't have one for 40 years. Y'all did that. The team did that. Be good with it, you know? And you were a contender every year with Giannis. So as soon as you it's been like 6-7 years. They're always in the finals discussion, a championship discussion, I should say. So be happy that you had it, but it's time to tear this thing all the way down. Brook Lopez is a free agent. I don't know if he's going to go elsewhere. I don't know what Dame's out for the season. What are you really going to, you know what I mean? What are you going for? Man, I'm trying to see what I can get. I'm trying to get everything for Giannis. I need the farm for Giannis and rebuild like that, you know? Who are you going to build around? I don't know. You're not going to build around Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, excuse me, Kevin Porter Jr. You're not going to build around them guys, but Jackson Hayes and none of them, you know what I mean? Not Jackson Hayes. Got my man's name. But anyway, you're not going to build around them, you know? So who do you build around? That's the question. That would be the question, you know? Dame's probably going to sit out the whole season. If he comes back, it's going to be really late in the season. I doubt it. I think he's going to just rest up and, you know, go from there. So, yeah, if I'm a Bucks fan, I'm tight. I'm super tight. All the way tight. We got to do something different. All right. Let's get to the last topic of the day, or the show, I should say. So, I've been always wanting to talk about this. The most disrespectful dunks of all time. I've seen a few of them. I was watching them just to kind of refresh your memory because there's a few that you just forget about. Like, I always see the Sean Kemp when he dunked on, what's my man's name? I forgot to do his name. Anyway, when he dunked on him, he pointed at him. Hit him with a hit. You know what I mean? That was dope. Kobe I like the one that Kobe did when he came baseline and came from around the other side and dunked it. He did it twice. He did it against the Knicks on the Charles Wheel, then he did it in the playoff game, first round 2003 playoffs against the Timberwolves. Great call by Kevin Harlan, too. You know what I mean? Kobe Bryant just sucked the gravity out of the target center. Pause. Like, that was great. That was great. That's sports. You know what I mean? That's what we love, sports. So that was a good one. There's a few, man. The one that LeBron dunked on Jason Terry. The alley-oop caught him. Boom. Yammed it on. Then stood over him. That was a good one. D-Wade catch on Aaron DeVergeau. That was a good one. Man, there's a few. Vince Carter dunking on Lonzo Mourning. Obviously, Jordan getting Ewing. Jordan getting Kemba Mutombo when he never had dunked on him. And he finally caught him and he hit him. He hit him with the wag like, no, I got you this time. I got you because he had never dunked on him until that point. And he got him in 97. That's another one. I mean, there's so many good ones. Baron Davis dunking on Andre Karolinko. Shook the whole, I think it was called the Oracle. It was the Oracle back then when it was in Oakland. That was crazy. That was a good dunk. But to me, the most disrespectful dunk, it's obviously, to me, it's Vince. That's the obvious one you can say is Vince Carter on Frederick Weiss. Frederick Weiss is like 7'2", 7'3". Vince Carter jumped over him. You know what I mean? Shorts in my man's face. Dunked on him. Hold that. Ugly. That was disrespectful. That's gonna be the most disrespectful dunk of all time. Regardless, that's always got to be number one. But one I would say to me, is Scottie Pippen over Patrick Ewing. 1994 playoffs, game 6 in Chicago. Yammed it on him. Caught him. Pushed him, stood over him, walked over him, basically. You would have had to kind of, get out of here. You know what I mean? He dunked and then he walked over him. Disrespectful. That was the most disrespectful dunk I've ever seen. That was crazy. To me, that's my most disrespectful. And then he walked over to Spike Lee. Sit down, bro. Sit yourself down, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that was crazy too. So the whole sequence was dope and disrespectful. But yeah, we love it. That's why we love sports. You know what I mean? You give it to them, you let them know, huh? Hold that. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think. What's the most disrespectful dunk? Obviously, the Tighter Eyes segment, how you feel if you're a fan of these teams, and all that and more. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been a great show. Love you. Thank you for all the supporters, all the subscribers, all the followers. Like I said, love is love. Remember, like, subscribe, share, comment, support. Enjoy the game tonight. Indiana up 2. 10 minutes left to go in the game. Game 1, Eastern semis. I'll see you later. Fanatical Massholes show. It's your boy Mizzo. We out. Peace and blessings. Easy, bro.
I'ma cross the finish line. I'ma go out there, get mine. As a motherfucking beat drop. Tell you something now.
fast car. I'm racing like, whoa, I like the